Hi, this video will hopefully be one of many where I talk about art style games in depth, trying to raise awareness of the different problems currently present, giving my opinion, and hopefully solving some of the issues raised. Are there issues in this genre? Yes, because it is relatively young. For those of you who are new, art stands for Action RTS, which in turn stands for real-time strategy. My name is Somas, I'm a gamer, and since we're talking about arts, I have played a lot of Dota 1, moved on to Han when it was in closed beta, I'm currently in Dota 2 closed beta, I tried League of Legends for a bit somewhere along the road, and I hate the term MOBA because it sounds horrible. English is not my native tongue, so please bear with my mistakes and the accent. I could post all of my ideas as text, but text is boring. Watching video and listening to somebody else is much more fun, and since I have a YouTube channel anyway, I thought, why not? Especially since this is quite relevant to what my channel is about. I'll put some pictures from time to time so it's more fun. Being mostly a Han Heroes of New Earth player myself, I will be talking about the three biggest games in the genre today, which are Han, League of Legends, and Dota. And by Dota, I am implying Dota 2 in its current state and won't really be mentioning Dota 1. Let's face it, that game is old in terms of mechanics, graphics, and pretty much anything else possible. The only reason to play it now would be in preparation for Dota 2's release. So again, I'm mostly a Han player, or at least that's my favorite game at the moment. I felt like for the first topic I should take the most important one. So today we're talking about the learning curve or entry barrier. In other words, 1. Why is it so hard to get into this genre? 2. Why would you do that anyway? And 3. Is it better than other genres? I will start with an interesting example. Heroes of New Earth was not initially free to play, and you can sometimes find a post on the forums asking for a refund. In general, the person in question is left off and looked down upon, which I think is just horrible. The main argument people come up with is, you've played this game for 300 hours and you want a refund? Most games you buy in a shop cost you $60 and only last for a few hours. You serious, man? Yes, he is. In fact, your entire logic of comparing Hunt to other games is just flawed, if not flat out stupid. It might seem at first glance that you're only paying $30, but you're actually paying much more. Let's talk a bit from a normal, casual gamer's perspective. What Han and any other game in the genre currently is an investment. You can go buy your $60 game, but as soon as you start playing it, you're enjoying yourself. The game is most likely designed to make you enjoy yourself from the very first steps. You only play for 6 hours, but you get your money's worth, if it's a decent game, of course. If you want more from it, you go ahead to play online for a few more hours or an even longer time. At this point, it doesn't really matter. However, when playing any arts game, if it is your first game in the genre, and even if not, you're almost guaranteed not to enjoy your first game, or second one, or third. To get familiar with the game, to learn most of the heroes and items, you need at least 100 games. Most likely 200, maybe more. Convert it to time, and let's say you need 100 hours to learn the game. Your time is not free. Apply the rough average amount of $5 per hour and you get $500. That's a huge investment. Of course, a free-to-play game in this genre would hold a huge advantage. Why pay money in addition to a time investment? A veteran genre player knows that it will pay off eventually, but a normal player does not. Why would anyone waste their time? Because the games in this genre are one of the most rewarding games out there. I want to take a minute to look at this in detail since it was one of the questions raised initially. There are two big advantages this genre holds. 1. Replayability. The game has very high replay value and is basically based on it. Replayability is good for any game because more time can be spent improving minor details. It is much easier to design a good character that will be played for 100 hours than it is to design 100 good characters that will be played for an hour each. In the end, you get a much higher quality product with roughly the same playtime. But doesn't it get stale over time? It does, but not if you keep updating it with new content. And no, custom mutations in Left 4 Dead do not count as new content. 2. Depth. Games in this genre offer you depth like no other. The skill ceiling is practically unreachable. In Han, the metagame, I'll just call it that, is constantly evolving because people keep finding new and better strategies. Partly this is because the game is new, partly because of the depth it offers. Why is depth a good thing? because it helps fulfill our most important need, deepest desire, to be first at something. This is not an opinion, this is a fact. You can Google statistics for this. This is the human need of highest value. It's hard to believe at first, but money, food, and health actually come somewhere afterwards. To be better, to be the best, the competitive nature of this game. I can illustrate the difference from other games with an example. Let's take Call of Duty. Before you jump to the conclusions, I'm not saying that the game sucks or is worse. It does a lot of things right, but right now I'm comparing the depth. Here's the spot where everyone wants to be. The king, the best one or one of the best. But how can you actually get there? This is where depth comes in. To become a good player in Call of Duty, you need better aim and faster reaction. That's pretty much it. You're giving some depth or options with different guns like shotguns, sniper rifles, but the principle stays the same. If you can land a really fast, accurate shot pretty often, you'll be at the top. You can try strategize, use grenades, tactics, but it only takes you so far. You need aim and you need reaction. If your aim sucks, you're out of luck. Your only option is to keep playing, trying to improve it. And now let's take a look at Han or any other arts game. This is what I mean by a lot of depth. You're giving a lot of options, so many in fact, that it's impossible to be good at everything. And the difference is that it's not just for show. Those options can win you games. I suck at less hitting. I cannot carry. No problem. Play support. Play swords. I don't know how to play swords. Play a ganker. Gank other lanes. I can't do that either. I'm just bad against enemy players. No problem. Get a jungler. Sit in the jungle. Damn it. I always die to creeps. What else can I do? Work on your item and skill build. Change it up. Think of something new. Buy a bottle and give it to the player who's going mid. I can't do it, man. What else? Well, look at the minimap. Playing at the bottom lane, but see a player go missing from top, inform the player mid. A single gank could lose him the lane and in turn the entire game. There are options. If you're bad at something, you can get better at something else. Different players from different backgrounds can unite. You can find your home here with us. This game offers you the chance to find what you're good at and show it to others. Good carry, good support, it's all there. And by the way, contrary to popular belief, playing a good support is harder than playing a good carry. And no, 2 words placed per game does not make you a good support player. Neither does 3. So we combine incredible depth with incredible replayability and we get the ultimate game experience. Of course, there are other good things about the game, but I don't have the time to mention them in this video. As I was saying, ultimate game experience. The only problem is that investment, that learning curve, that entry barrier. The first game in this genre, provided it has good mechanics and gameplay to solve this investment problem, will probably become the dominant one. League of Legends became huge because it alleviated this issue, but the problem is still not gone. It's still there. How do other games solve it? It's pretty simple. Single player. Most first-person shooters today don't even need a tutorial because the genre has existed for so long. WASD to move, mouse click to shoot, you're good to go. I don't really like the concept of tutorials in general, and I don't think it's good for games. You have to do it in a very smart way, or you'll get a total bore fest. The best tutorial is the one where you don't even notice it's a tutorial. Unfortunately, no matter how long the arts genre continues to exist, no tutorial will solve that problem. A new game has new heroes and new items. So then, single player, is that the key? In a sense it is. A campaign of sorts, something you can enjoy from the very first moment you start the game. Apply it to a game like Han and you get all sorts of problems. Does ST Games, the developer of Han, have the resources to create a full campaign? Most likely not. Valve could do it, but we immediately move on to the next problem. What hero will be playing through the campaign? In any arts game, heroes have very different roles. You can't just put any hero on the map and send him off to kill creeps. And if you make some hero the lead, what will prevent all the new players from picking him in a normal game? What if somebody else picked him? What if you can't even pick the hero this week to begin with? The first thing that came to my mind is to take one of the main disadvantages of the genre and turn it into an advantage. Multiplayer. You just cannot play Han without an internet connection. Why not turn the single player experience into the next closest thing? Co-op. You and a bunch of your buddies together, but you're not up against other players like you. Rather, you're just playing against the AI. And then it all came together in my mind. The best solution I could think of to fit this genre. Survival. Now hear me out. A mode where you and another 3 or 4 people survive against hordes of mindless zombies or creeps. What advantages does this hold? Rather than asking that, let's ask what problems does it solve? First of all, you don't need a lead hero. Just pick what's on this week's rotation or just random any hero and jump in. Others pick something as well and you start playing. Second, it teaches you the basics of Han. After you learn that your hero can actually kill stuff and learn different abilities by different items, you will soon catch on that some heroes are better in the survival mode than others. The game is balanced for normal mode, not survival mode, but that is a good thing. Players will get into the mindset of certain heroes and items are better than others in certain situations. Being dead also gets boring really fast. Low on health, go back to healing the fountain. The basics. Third, it's relatively easy to produce. Just put the players on the map and spawn some creeps. No need to create a full-featured campaign. And lastly, you are enjoying yourself from the first moments of gameplay. I mean, it's a survival game. How can you not enjoy this? There are no enemy players, just mindless creeps. Nobody will flame you. Just play, survive. If you die, revive in the next wave, which is very similar to actually dying in a real game. If you lost, no worries. Try to play again and do better. Include different difficulty settings. On the lowest, make it possible to win by auto-attacking. Force players to play their first game like that. Once you get the hang of it, can you move on to play normal games? Not really. You will still suck against enemy players, not because you're bad, but because you aren't prepared. People will get upset. It's a pretty hostile and punishing environment. Is there any solution to this? Actually, a solution is already being made and will probably come out soon in both Han and Dota. No idea about League of Legends. Mid-Wars, the perfect next step. It's basically made for this. It still has the very similar co-op experience where you and 4 other bodies are together. It doesn't have the tension of a normal game, and it puts you against other groups just like yours to test what you've learned from the game so far. Losing a Mid-Wars game? So what? It's still a ton of fun. After Mid-Wars, a player can move on to casual mode or just normal mode if he wishes. Would the players move though? Would the players not stay in survival mode forever? Will it split the community? Yes and no. There might be a small percent of people that just play survival or just play Mid-Wars, but in the long run it will bring more pleasure into the game and will give normal players a breather between their games. And what's the force pushing the players forward? Depth. Just like in any survival game, people will figure it out pretty quickly and start asking for more depth. No problem. Move on to Mid-Wars. Figure out the best heroes in Mid-Wars. Need more depth. No problem. Move on to normal mode. Comparing casual mode and normal mode is a touchy subject. Just put a warning when playing casual mode saying this game mode could have balance issues. It's a trade-off, more fun for less depth. Eventually, if you play enough casual games, you'll move on. Surprisingly enough, normal mode contains just about the right amount of depth a human would desire. This is just my opinion, but I think this can be seen by the other maps in Han, or rather the lack of people playing them. People don't want to get better by trying to learn and abuse a different map. They feel that the game already provides enough depth to tinker with. That, or the maps just suck, which honestly I think they do. If done right, people will really be able to say, how can you ask for a refund? You played this game for 300 hours, because most likely you will enjoy all of those hours. It will no longer be an investment, a perfect arts game, a game that offers you everything you would search for in a game. I mean, even faster reaction time and precision helps a lot in Han, just like any FPS. And it's not just mindless grinding either. You're improving yourself. You're not just better because your weapon deals more damage or armor gives 10 more strength. You're better because you are a better player than you were before and nothing else. One last thing I'd like to mention before my voice dies is the AI. What about the AI? When does the AI come into play? Well, the AI plays in a very different style compared to humans, so it kind of gives you the wrong idea of how the normal game is played, which a normal game is what it's trying to simulate. Plus, it still puts you in a pre-competitive environment. Less stressing? Yes. Enjoyable? No. It doesn't really solve the problem. Then, is it a huge waste of resources? Does it not belong? Actually, it does have a use. To play and practice when your internet is down, or to help you try out a new hero. I've rambled on for long enough already, so I think I'll wrap up the first episode. Hope my thoughts weren't too boring and actually made sense. There's still a lot I want to talk about, but that's enough for now. Hope somebody actually listens to this and the genre improves in the future. See ya.